They have survived 5 mass extinctions. Every catastrophe that has ended life on Earth, the volcanic winters, the asteroid impacts, the collapsing oceans, has failed to kill them. While the dinosaurs vanished and entire kingdoms of life collapsed into the fossil record, these creatures endured. They are not ancient in the way we casually use the word. They predate the trees. They predate complex animal life itself. They are called tardigrades. And they are almost certainly living outside your door right now. Most are no bigger than a grain of salt. 0.5 millimeter, some smaller still. To see one clearly, you need a microscope. Under the lens, something unexpected happens, something almost absurd. 8 stubby legs emerge. A barrel-shaped body. A mouth that opens like a tiny industrial drill. They walk. Slowly, with a lumbering, bear-like gait, which is exactly why they are also called water bears. The name is disarming. It makes them sound like a novelty. They are anything but. Tardigrades appeared on Earth roughly 600 million years ago. This was before fish. Before insects. Before the first forests drew carbon from a young atmosphere. They were already ancient when the Cambrian explosion was still a future event. They have been here, quietly, through everything. What makes them extraordinary is not just their age. It is what they can survive. Drop a tardigrade into the vacuum of outer space. No oxygen. No pressure. Radiation levels that would shred a human genome in minutes. The tardigrade curls into a tiny dried ball, called a ton, and waits. Its metabolism falls to 0.01% of normal activity. Its water content drops from around 85% to just 3%. The molecular machinery of its body essentially pauses. Not death. A kind of suspended existence biologists call cryptobiosis, hidden life. Bring it back. Rehydrate it. Within hours, it walks again. This is not metaphor. In 2007, the European Space Agency sent tardigrades into low Earth orbit on the Photon M3 mission. They were exposed to the full vacuum of space and unfiltered solar radiation for 10 days. When returned to Earth, a significant portion survived. Some even reproduced. No other animal has ever demonstrated this. The cold does not stop them. They have been revived after 30 years frozen in Antarctic moss. The heat does not stop them. They can endure temperatures above 150 degrees Celsius in their dormant state. The pressure does not stop them, they can withstand crushing forces 6 times greater than the deepest point in the ocean. Radiation, desiccation, starvation, the complete absence of oxygen, none of it is reliably fatal. To understand why requires looking inside. When a tardigrade enters cryptobiosis, it produces extraordinary amounts of unique intrinsically disordered proteins. These proteins replace the water inside its cells, forming a glassy matrix that protects cellular structures from collapsing or crystallizing. It is essentially vitrification, the same principle used in cryonics, but achieved naturally, at a molecular level, by an animal barely visible to the naked eye. But this alone does not explain everything. Tardigrades carry another weapon, a unique class of proteins found in no other animals on Earth. These proteins, called damage suppressor proteins, physically wrap around DNA strands and shield them from radiation. They are, in the most literal sense, armor for the genome. When scientists inserted SUP genes into human cells in laboratory experiments, those cells became significantly more resistant to X-ray damage. The tardigrade survival toolkit is not merely useful to itself. It may one day be useful to us. There are over 1,300 known species of tardigrade. They live in the Himalayas and in equatorial rainforests. They colonize the thin film of water on a piece of moss clinging to a wall in a city. They live in hot springs. They have been found in sediment at the bottom of the ocean. They exist on every continent, including Antarctica. Anywhere water is present, even briefly, tardigrades can establish themselves. There is likely no ecosystem on Earth that does not contain them. They reproduce in fascinating and sometimes strange ways. Many species reproduce sexually. Others are entirely parthenogenetic, females producing offspring without fertilization. In some species, the female lays her eggs inside her own shed cuticle, the old skin acting as a protective casing. The young hatch already carrying the full complement of cells they will ever have. Tardigrades do not grow by cell division after a certain point. Every cell they will ever possess, they are born with. Their genomes are equally surprising. When scientists first sequenced tardigrade DNA, they found something startling. Roughly 1/6 of the genome appeared to have been taken from bacteria, fungi, and plants. Horizontal gene transfer, the direct incorporation of foreign genetic material, seemed to have happened at an extraordinary rate. Later research revised that estimate downward, but the phenomenon remains real. Tardigrades appear to have, across their evolutionary history, absorbed functional DNA from their environment. They have been collecting survival tools for 600 million years. Consider what this implies about the boundaries between species. We tend to think of evolution as a branching tree, lineages diverging, never recombining. Tardigrades have quietly violated that model. They are a mosaic. An accumulation. Something built, in part, from the wreckage of whatever environment they have passed through. They eat algae, bacteria, and in some predatory species, other tardigrades. Their lives, in ordinary circumstances, are brief, a year, perhaps 2. But ordinary circumstances can be suspended indefinitely. A tardigrade found in a museum specimen of dried moss, collected and archived for 120 years, was successfully rehydrated in a Japanese laboratory in 2016. It moved. It ate. It laid eggs that hatched. 120 years as a dry speck of nothing. Then, with water, life. The question this raises sits at the intersection of biology, physics, and something approaching philosophy. What is the minimum definition of being alive? If metabolism can stop entirely, if time can effectively be paused while the physical structure of an organism remains intact, is that still life? Or is it something else, something we do not yet have a precise word for? Tardigrades do not care about the question. They have been not caring for longer than our entire lineage has existed. Here is the final fact, the one that reframes everything. Scientists have modeled the conditions under which life on Earth could be completely extinguished. Asteroid impacts large enough to boil the oceans. Supernovae close enough to strip away the atmosphere. Gamma-ray bursts. Each scenario was tested against the survivability thresholds of known organisms. The conclusion: there is no known astrophysical event, short of the Sun itself expanding to consume the planet, that would kill all tardigrades. They are, in the scientific literature, described as the most likely survivors of any extinction event Earth could face. This means that when we speak of life on Earth, we are not speaking of the most resilient life on Earth. We are somewhere in the middle. The true inheritors of this planet are already here, invisible, waiting in the moss. Whatever ends us, they will outlast it. Curled in their ton, in the dark, waiting for water. Thanks for watching. If you enjoyed this, hit like and subscribe for more incredible facts.